Hey, what's up everyone? It's time for another ice bath. Now it's hard to see, and a lot of the ice is melted, but I promise it's still cold, so let's hop in. Ooh. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's still cold. Ooh. So today I want to talk to you about, I still want to continue elaborating on subconscious programming and using ice baths and also temazcal as a way to reprogram and rewire your brain to have more higher vibrational thoughts, which again will create your reality, because I am of the belief that our thoughts do in fact create our reality, and therefore if we can find ways to improve our mental health like I'm doing and maintain high vibrational thoughts and be resilient towards negative external events and still put ourselves into states of gratitude, compassion, and love, we will be able to create a reality that is in harmony with our values and a reality that we truly want. So I'm going to share with you a story. So as I've said before, I have a tendency to overthink and automatically think the worst. But another thing about me is I very much struggle with accepting things, especially things that I don't like, accepting situations that I didn't want to turn out the way they did. I fixate on it and obsess over it, and that has been another factor that led me to have poor mental health, anxiety, and depression. So one of these stories is I went through a very rough breakup several months ago, and led me to just spiral completely out of control. Even ice baths, that's when I really started to pick up the pace with that. That's when I started to get more consistent, actually. That was the event. And even with that, I was still struggling, and there's many elements to this breakup. There's a lot of drama within it, and I'm not one to ever have really been involved with drama, so this is like the most dramatic experience I've had, and that was really fucking with me, and I just couldn't accept it. So a couple months after the breakup, I was still hurting, I was still upset, and I started doing the weekly temazcal as well, along with the ice baths. And always at that time, my intention was to release this anger, resentment, this pain from that breakup, because like I said, it really forced me to spiral out of control again, and my depression shot up tenfold, my anxiety, but not to mention I was just angry and resentful and just miserable every day. So my intention with these practices were to release that and move on and create new memories, new thoughts, new relationships. And I found that specifically in temazcal, I would be, temazcal, like I've explained in the other video, it's a way to release things. And I just found when I'd be immersed in that heat, I would just fixate on that situation and it would amplify. So I'd just be angry, which is very fitting because I was in like the fiery pits of hell in this temazcal, and just angry and thinking about it. And that's all I'd be thinking about the entire time. I wasn't even focusing on the beautiful songs and the chanting that was going on. And I remember this one time, like a couple months have passed of the breakup and consistently doing temazcal and ice baths. And I finally did a temazcal session, and not once did that breakup, that whole situation enter my mind. And I was astonished. I remember going up to my friend, I was like, fuck, for the first time, I never thought about it. I think I've finally purged this. And this is where it gets interesting, because I am of the belief that the universe will throw things at you to test you. This life is all about learning lessons, making mistakes and learning from them, and just ultimately working your way up to be the best version of yourself, the highest level of consciousness. And in order to do that, we need to make mistakes, we need to go through hardship and pain, because without pain, there is no growth. So it's interesting because I said that to him, and the universe put me to the test the next day, because I remember waking up in the morning and feeling great. And then all of a sudden, I had things that I intended to do, and I got distracted, so I was way behind schedule, and that was annoying me, because that's a big thing that annoys me. So I was already feeling off with that. And then I had to do all this grocery shopping, and I had the dog with me, and I was scrambling around. I don't have a vehicle, so I was walking, and I was just miserable at this point just because I felt like rushed. I had all these groceries, it was heavy, and then next thing you know, the grocery bags broke, and all the groceries went everywhere. It was a mess. I'm trying to hold Winter, my dog. She's scrambling around. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I clean it all up. And then I like had to use the broken bag. So I'm like struggling to carry all this shit. I'm going up this hill. And then right before I get to like close to my home, my ex like drove past me with someone. And at that point I was like, wow. And I knew it was just a universal test. However, even though I knew that, my nervous system responded, and I could feel like the resentment and the anger and the pain, and I could feel like it boiling within me. But I knew, I was like, no, you're past this. This is fine. Like, you're on to new and better things in your life. Like, all this happened for a reason. There's no reason to be upset or angry or to have negative thoughts, but my nervous system was responding to the situation, and I could feel it. So what I did is what I do best, is I did an ice bath, and of course the ice bath completely neutralized it. I still had it a little bit, but the dopamine hit, bring me into the present moment, and then I just started to laugh at myself. I'm like, the universe is so funny. Like, we are living in this waking dream that we're all co-creating together with our thoughts, and that was just a perfect example, and it was a perfect example to, again, give me more evidence of that belief system that I have, which is that fact that we're all living in this waking dream to which we're creating. And yeah, so that's how I dealt with it, and that's how I've continued to deal with this. You know, I'm still struggling with my mental health. I'm still struggling accepting things, overthinking. These are all subconscious programs that I've been aware of, that I've been using ice baths, and then on top of that, temazcal. But ice bath's the main tool. As you can see, I'm doing this pretty much every day, and it has been working. It is a slow process, but I wanted to tell you this story because I know that so many people go through the same things as me, overthinking, struggling to move on. These are all things that we struggle with that lead to mental health, lead to anxiety, lead to depression, lead to anger, lead to resentment, and these are all low vibrational thoughts that aren't in alignment with our higher self, that aren't in alignment with creating a reality that is with harmony, with unity, with purpose. It all blocks us. So which is why I believe it's very important, for me at least, to continue doing these things, to get rid of those blockages, to release those negative subconscious programs, and to reprogram it with higher vibrational thoughts, to not only just be more happy, but to be more resilient to when external factors come in, such as that, and being able to deal with it in a positive way rather than resentment or anger or sadness, depression, anything like that. So yeah, that's my story. I hope that's resonated with you guys. The great thing is when I talk to you guys on camera, I completely forget about the cold, but now that I'm finishing the video, I'm realizing how fucking cold I am. So I'm going to end it right now and do my head dunk. So I hope everyone has a great day.